What is up, everybody? Happy Friday the 13th. Hope you're having a not so unlucky day, because usually Friday the 13th is unlucky, but luckily we got some good news today in the Bitcoin and crypto space, and there is also some bad news. So where can Bitcoin go? We had a nice little pump this morning. Like, we were 68,000 yesterday, and did we touch 70,000? No, we came so close. We were at 69,000 today. We're still holding 69 right now. Can we keep going further? Who knows? Like, there's lots of stuff going on in the news. If you'll take a look at Telegram, we got an update in the Bitcoin network. The BIP 360 enters Bitcoin's official repository, aiming to bolster defenses against quantum threats. So everyone's always so worried about quantum threats out there and whatnot, but it's like, you got nothing to worry about. Bitcoin will just upgrade with it going through. And plus, if you are really worried about quantum threat, there is so many other things at risk to it. Everything's at risk of quantum threat. The traditional banking system, internet, like just everything we got there that you don't want to, everyone wants to just focus on Bitcoin. Oh, it's threatened to that. Everything gets threatened. So if you want to worry about it, worry about everything. But in the end, like, we're just going to upgrade along with quantum technology. So this is the start of it. They're entering their official repository. They put it in there just to boost the defense. So that's bullish news for Bitcoin. We're getting some upgrades there, so we don't have to worry about quantum computing taking away all of our Bitcoin. So that's some bullish news. It's strengthening the Bitcoin network. Love it. What else is bullish news here? We got Indiana Senate Committee advances HB 1042, clearing the way for state retirement funds to invest in cryptocurrency assets. So could be Bitcoin directly, could be some crypto ETF out there, Bitcoin ETF, whether it's BlackRock's IBIT, Grayscale's, what is Grayscale's Bitcoin ETF called? Is it Grayscale BTC? I forgot, but no, this is cool. This is bullish news, for the state of Indiana to be able to, retirement funds that go into Bitcoin and let that accumulate over time. And now is kind of a good time to start accumulating that, because again, we're kind of forming the bottom. If you take a look at the previous halving cycles out there, I love Bull Mania. If you don't check out these chart sites, take a look at it, because you got the performance by year, halving cycles, the moving average, which I'm always following, taking a look at that. But the halving cycles, when you take a look at how they've really been affected, so far we've been this year has just been sideways. If you take a look at the rainbow chart too, we are in a Bitcoin is dead area, and I'm hearing that. I got my buddy always saying that, sending me messages, oh, Bitcoin's dead, it's going there. And so the rainbow chart is actually pretty accurate to that. And if you look at the newer Bitcoin rainbow chart since 2023, that was the original one when it first came out. How long ago? 2014, 2009? I forgot when the first rainbow chart came out. But here's the current updated one, showcasing that we are in the, where are we in? Are we still in the, let's see, can I zoom in here? Here we go. So right now we are in the accumulate phase still. So still kind of the basically, we still could go down a little bit more, but if you look back in the previous cycles, for all the halving events, we've never really reached that true maximum bubble territory. We never reached that, even though that maximum bubble territory was priced at 56,000. If you look in here, even though we touched 126, that only made it to our hodl phase. So we were still expecting more. So how can this play out? There's still 2 more years left to go of this halving cycle until our next one. Can we get a late rise up again? That's still always that's hopium. That's it could, because again, everything that's changed this year, we felt the cycles were different. Some right now it's kind of feeling it's exactly the same, but again, we didn't have that huge pump euphoria moment. People were euphoric and everything, but we never really had that big one. So I wonder if can we still do it by the end of the year? I have hope. If not, by 2026, we'll slowly start accumulating, going up until the next halving. That's my prediction there. So this week we got some bullish news. Hopefully Bitcoin's price continues going up. Let's see. Lastly, in the Twitter news, we have the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, is now putting up billboards advertising its spot Bitcoin ETF. So Bitcoin exposure made easy. So we're getting some pop-ups out there. People are seeing Bitcoin in the real world. So so it's bullish right now. But again, it's mixed reviews going on right now. So we got some bullish news here, but then we also have some negative news, South Korea lost 22 Bitcoin, the Seoul police. We also got Coinbase users were locked out yesterday, so importance of self-custody. And also a lending platform, BlockFill, is halting withdrawal. So what's going on there? So again, there's some negative news out there, but there's also some bullish news. But let's cover the news articles that we have for you today. We have 4 lined up, or 5. So let's hear what's happening. So again, sorry for being late, lots of meetings this morning, but let's hear what's happening in the crypto space. So first up again, Bitcoin price eyes recovery above 70,000. Also, as Brazil plans a 1 million Bitcoin sovereign reserve. So this could be a huge Bitcoin reserve coming out there. But again, this is not their first time talking about this. I think this is a re-implementation of a previous plan to do so. But let's go through this article. So Bitcoin's price trades near $68,000 as Brazil revives, it's a revival plan, to buy 1 million Bitcoin and use Bitcoin as Drex collateral under Bill 4501-2024. So Bitcoin's price is consolidating right now near $68,000 after a recent volatility and a 30% drop over the past month. Now, with $2.5 billion in Bitcoin options expiring today, and Brazil reintroduced a bold bill to acquire up to 1 million Bitcoin, markets are showing both caution and long-term interest. Now, data from Glassnode shows that Bitcoin is trading within a $65,000 to $73,000 range, with open interest in options markets rising. And despite the sideways price action, derivatives activity suggests that traders are preparing for a large price swing. So people are still waiting for they're waiting for some price swing. Like I was just talking, we still could have a price swing up because we didn't really see it in the previous halvings out there. Or no, I like the rainbow chart one. So we never really seen it in this chart. While all the other halvings, they exploded to the side. So there's still some volatility out there. But data from Glassnode shows that Bitcoin is currently trading within $65,000 and $73,000 range, with open opposite rises. I already covered that. But open interest and volatility climb ahead of options expiry. So Glassnode reports that BTC options interest has climbed back to 452,000 Bitcoin, nearing its latest Q4 2024 high. Wait, 450 climbed back to 452. Oh, it's an option price. So because I'm going there's no way there's 400. Oh, wait, never mind. That is BTC. I was thinking that was 452 million. Typo reader. No, so they climbed back up to 452,000 Bitcoin. But this comes after the December 26th expiry caused a sharp drop in positions. And the recent increase suggests that traders are once again positioning themselves for a movement. So people are positioning themselves they're accumulating right now. How much longer could we go down? Maybe a couple more months, but they're starting to. They're nibbling, how everyone likes to call it. Don't just go all in right now. If you're going to be stacking some more, just nibble at it, because we could have still another couple months to a year of just the downward trend, trying to find that true bottom. My prediction out there is literally I said 50 to 55, but honestly it could go to 45 to 50,000 or 45 to 55,000 range, anywhere between there. That could be our true bottom, and then prices start going back up. Because that's what we experienced in the last cycle happening. Because I remember when Bitcoin was at $15,000, I had my buddy going, yeah, Bitcoin's dead. It's not going anywhere out there. I'm telling him, I'm pretty sure this is the bottom. We're going to start going up. And what do you know? We started getting days where Bitcoin was pumping $5,000 a day, 10,000, 2-week lull, started pumping again, eventually leading to our all-time high. So it took a couple of years to do so, but that's what I'm feeling is going to happen this time. Once we reach that 40, if we reach that 45 or 55, we don't know when the bottom is. We don't have a crystal ball. But if we reach that level, then that's what I feel the turning point is. And so I think that's kind of the catching the falling knife, because you're trying to catch it as it's going down and hopes it goes up. So that's what I'm thinking is. So you can position yourself well with it. But at the same time, volatility is expected to rise 1 month and 3 months at the money implied volatilities have gained around 10 points. So this trend shows that traders are pricing in larger forward moves despite the current market claim. Now, skew, a measure of option pricing between puts and calls, moved from 6% to 18% in just a month, according to Glassnode. Now, this indicates strong demand for downside protection. Rather than betting on gains, traders are hedging against further declines. Now, Brazil has reintroduced a strategic Bitcoin reserve proposal. So on February 13th, 2026, Brazil's Congress reintroduced Bill 4501-2024. Which proposes the creation of a strategic sovereign Bitcoin reserve. Now, if passed, it would authorize Brazil to acquire up to 1 million Bitcoin over a 5-year period. Now, this move would make Brazil the world's largest state Bitcoin holder if they do accomplish it. And Federal Deputy Luiz Gastal confirmed that the proposal includes a $68 billion expenditure plan, and the reserve would support economic resilience and monetary sovereignty. The bill suggests that Bitcoin should also serve as a collateral for Drex, Brazil's central bank digital currency. Now, the bill expands on earlier versions, now including legal guarantees for self-custody, free asset transfers, and transaction privacy. So, if passed, it would also prevent any restrictions on transfers to user-controlled wallets. Now, Brazil's Bitcoin plan includes tax payments and ETF holdings. The proposed law goes beyond just direct Bitcoin purchases. It allows public institutions to accumulate Bitcoin through taxes paid in Bitcoin, hold Bitcoin-backed spot ETFs during emergencies, and authorize government companies to acquire and store Bitcoin. So, Bill 4501-2024 states that Brazilian Central Bank and Ministry of Finance will manage these assets. These semi-annual reports to Congress would provide updates on Bitcoin custody, performance, and usage. Now, the Internal Revenue Service would have 12 months to build the infrastructure for the system. Now, Deputy Gastel said that these actions are necessary to protect citizens and their purchasing power and prepare the economy for digital transformation. And Congress Eros Biondini, the bill's original author, previously described Resbit as a move to reduce inflation risk and promote economic innovation. Now, the global reserve trends and Bitcoin price reaction. Brazil's move aligns with a growing global trend. Other countries exploring Bitcoin reserves include Germany, France, and the Philippines. Now, Germany's AfD party, France's lawmakers, and the Philippine Congress have all proposed national Bitcoin strategies to counter inflation and strengthen sovereignty. As Brazil's proposal advances, Bitcoin traders are watching for how institutional demand could influence price recovery while Bitcoin remains below its 74,000 max pain level. For options expiry, long-term holders still may see renewed confidence if such national level buying becomes law. So Bitcoin's current price at $68,000 keeps bulls cautious, yet with Brazil potentially entering the market as a buyer of up to 1 million Bitcoin, traders are positioning for the possible upside combined with rising open interest, higher implied volatility, and sovereign demand. Bitcoin's next move could break out of the current range. So yeah, this is like a bullish news article. Like we're waiting on that and kind of plays out like whenever this could go through and let's say Bitcoin does bottom out, they start buying. That's the narrative also too. Like, cause yeah, once we start reaching our, let's see, Bitcoin's moving average, once we reach this like 200-week moving average, like that's kind of almost like, I believe when the narrative starts changing, it's not going to flip right away, but that's when we're going to be finally leaving the bearish narrative. So basically anything that comes out right now, if it's bad news, price goes down. If it's good news, price stays the same. But when we switch that narrative and everyone's bullish, we get good news, price goes up. Bad news just stays the same. So we're getting to that point, and I believe Brazil and a lot of other people could be positioning themselves just at the right time for it. So I love it. I would love to see this bill pass, and I hope, yeah, Brazil starts buying more Bitcoin, especially 1 million, because that'd be crazy if they bought 1 million Bitcoin. And let's see if MicroStrategy can do it first, because they are really close, I think, with like over 700,000 Bitcoin. So they are super duper close to getting 1 million. Let's see if this country can do so as well. Now, let's continue on with the news. So some negative news out there. What happened to these 22 Bitcoin worth $1.5 billion? How did it vanish from Seoul police custody? Well, let's find out. This article lets us know. But the loss was uncovered during an audit launched after a separate 320 Bitcoin custody failure, raising fresh concerns over digital asset management by authorities. So South Korean authorities are investigating after 22 Bitcoin seized back in 2021 case disappeared from a cold wallet at Seoul Police Station, according to the local media reports. Now, the 22 Bitcoin worth about $1.5 million at the current price were held by Gangnam Police, Gangnam style, sorry, and then discovered missing during a nationwide audit of digital asset custody practices. Now, the Seoul Economic Times reported Friday that authorities reportedly said that 22 Bitcoin had been transferred externally through the cold wallet, storing the tokens was not stolen. Now, the investigation follows a separate case at the Gwangju District Prosecutor's Office, where 320 Bitcoin worth $21.3 million at the current price disappeared in August of 2025. Now, prosecutors in the case blamed a leaked password as part of the phishing attack, and the cases are drawing scrutiny over the authorities' ability to handle confiscated Bitcoin and the safekeeping practices of digital assets. So if they got stolen the password, it's like, how do they get a wallet, really? Because so obviously this kind of seems like the Seoul police were storing their crypto or this stolen Bitcoin or confiscated Bitcoin on an exchange or some type of platform, because that'd be the only way someone can log into your account with a password, unless like the only other way would be like they have the physical wallet. If it's a cold storage device, they got that wallet, they plugged it in, typed in the password, and moved the Bitcoin over. So I don't know, were they keeping it in a cold storage wallet that this person had hands on to, so someone, the police got it? Or is this an exchange platform that someone just had to log in with a password and email? Do not know, but they're saying it was due to a phishing attack with emails. But this audit uncovers a broader custody failure right now. So the National Police Agency reportedly initiated a review of seized cryptocurrency holdings across the country following the 320 Bitcoin cases during that review. Now, officials discovered that the 22 Bitcoin previously submitted to the Gangnam Station in November of 2021 and Gangnam Station in 2021, and the 22 Bitcoin were voluntarily submitted to authorities during an investigation in November of 2021. Now, this case is now suspended without a clear conclusion after the Bitcoin disappeared. The Gyeonggi Northern Provincial Police Agency is investigating the circumstances and potential individuals involved in the Bitcoin transfer, so they have a hunch. But back in January, South Korea's Supreme Court ruled that Bitcoin held in centralized exchanges can be seized by investigators. So Bitcoin is now an object of seizure under the Criminal Procedures Act because it is electronic information with independent manageability, tradability, and economic value. Now, the ruling means Korean users keeping their Bitcoin on exchanges may have their holdings frozen if linked to alleged criminal proceedings. So just hence, again, more importantly, why you should never leave your crypto on exchanges, because, again, they have the ability to freeze your account, move transactions. If anything goes wrong with the exchange, they're going to use all the crypto in their accounts they manage to bail themselves out. And if anything's left behind, then that's what you get at the end of it. But yeah, never leave your cryptos on exchanges for that reason. Also, like this next article, Coinbase users locked out and unable to buy, sell, or transfer crypto yesterday. This only happened for a few moments, but imagine like you needed to move, like you needed to pay a bill. You don't have a direct way to pay Bitcoin to that bill, so you got to sell some for fiat and move it over. But let's say that bill happened right then and there. You go to Coinbase and it's like I can't get on there right now. What's going on? I need this money. So if you left your coins on here, you don't have access to it. But let's say you kept it in a self-custody wallet, and then let's say the moment happened, you needed a bill. You go to Coinbase. Oh, it's not working. Well, what do you do then? Well, you should at least have probably 2 or 3 other fiat on and off ramps out there. For me personally, Coinbase, Uphold, Cash App. Those are my 3 options. So if this happened to me yesterday and I needed to pay a bill, sell some crypto to pay that bill, I would go to Coinbase. Oh, it's not working. Well, you know what? Let me just send it to Cash App. Oh, Cash App works just fine. I get my funds. It's good. So these are just like little scenarios for why you don't want to keep your coins on exchanges. Always self-custody. But then also, you should only want to treat these exchanges and centralized entities as fiat on and off ramps, meaning they're only there they're just a tool there so you can buy crypto if you need to, or sell crypto back for cash. That is it. So let's hear what actually happened to Coinbase users yesterday, because again, I am a Coinbase user and this does affect people's wallets out there. So let's see. So Coinbase users locked out and unable to buy, sell, or transfer crypto. So cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase experienced an unexpected service disruption on Wednesday, just hours before the company is scheduled to report its fourth quarter 2025 earnings report. The outage left users temporarily unable to buy, sell, or transfer digital assets on the platform, triggering concerns among customers and adding pressure to the company's stock. Now, the platform disruption hits Coinbase. So in a post on X, previously Twitter, Coinbase acknowledged the issue, stating that some customers were unable to conduct transactions on the platform. The company assured users that it was investigating the problem and emphasized that customer funds remain secure, which is the kind of the staple that every company will throw out there if something's going on. But shortly afterward, Coinbase support announced that a fix had been deployed and that teams were monitoring the platform to ensure services were fully restored. However, the company did not provide details about the root cause of the disruption or explain what led to the interruption in trading activity. Now, Coinbase shares Coin fell sharply during Wednesday's trading session. As of the writing, the stock is trading at $140, marking a 8% decline over the past several hours. Now, the drop comes as analysts prepare for what many expect to be challenging fourth quarter reports. Now, the $120 price target issued for Coin Research firm Monness Crespi took a notable cautious stance ahead of the earnings announcement. The firm issued a double downgrade on Coinbase stocks, moving its ratings from buy to sell. Analyst Gus Gala described earlier expectations of a steady recovery through 2026 as foolish, citing the historic depth and duration of crypto bear markets. Now, Monness Crespi now anticipates continued weakness through the first half of the year. Hence, if you're ever wondering why I'm getting like my 6-month ratio for predictions wise when we make that change, like it's just what everybody's calling for, different analysis, different people. So it's like I'm just coming to a conclusion like this is what we're predicting. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but this is what everybody is predicting right now for changes to happen. So we could see weakness up until the first half of the year. And then this has revised its 2026 and 2027 projections to levels below Wall Street's consensus estimates. Gala also set a $120 price target for the stock, suggesting that more attractive entry points may emerge later on. So just Coinbase was shut down, or not shut down. There some users out there couldn't gain access to Coinbase. And again, the way to stay safe from this is have a couple options for your on and off ramp platforms, whether it be another exchange, Crypto.com, Kraken, KuCoin, Binance, or even use like Cash App like myself or Uphold. Like just have 3 separate options. And as long as you keep your crypto in your own self-custody cold wallet, or just a self-custody wallet that's on your phone, if anything's wrong with one of these platforms, you just try one that is working, because not everybody is out unless we have a whole internet outage or AWS attack like we had that one time, and then like there was a lot of errors. But no, this is how you like can stay safe and just navigate through it. So if a problem comes up, it's like Coinbase ain't working. All right, I'm going to Cash App then. Same exact thing. So that's why self-custody is so important. So if you keep your cryptos on exchanges, get them off now and put it into your own wallet. That's just the safest thing to do. Back it up, keep that seed very safe, and never share it. So that's how we stay safe there. But yeah, so that was a little negative news there, like what's to come. But again, we're getting some analysis predictions out there. So there's still be some more pain for at least till the first half of the year. Now, another news article, which is FUD, but kind of tells it's FUD news. It's bad news, but this is telling me, because I've seen this in the last cycle, this is where the bottom happens. We're starting to see some lending companies for people who usually borrow money against their Bitcoin. Like there's usually some issues there. Like last time we had Silvergate, Three Arrows Capital, I think Voyager. Like we were starting seeing some downturns on them. Like I forgot if it was just halting withdrawals or they were literally shutting down, but it's kind of similar to that. So it's kind of showing like those were like the bottom moments before we started making that change up again. But which company was this? This is Bitcoin's fall forces crypto lender BlockFi to halt withdrawals. So here's why. So what's going on? So BlockFi is a Chicago-based institutional crypto lender and liquidity provider, has temporarily stopped client Bitcoin deposits and withdrawals after a sharp slide in Bitcoin's price. Now, the firm told customers that the move was taken in light of recent market and financial conditions, reports say. Now, trading access for some accounts remain open, but transfers to and from the platform are on hold. Now, this step has left many institutional clients unsettled and watching for the next update. Now, BlockFi freezes customer withdrawals. So according to the company, the halt is a precaution. Customers were told to expect ongoing communication from the management. Based on reports, the pause affects both deposits and withdrawals, and no firm date for resumption has been given. No, so that's kind of worrisome. But BlockFi tweeted out, in the light of recent market and financial conditions, and to further protect our clients and the firm, BlockFi took this action last week of temporarily suspending client deposits and withdrawals. Now, clients have been able to continue trading with BlockFi for purpose of, perpetual trading? Let's go to the actual post. For purpose of opening and closing positions in spot derivatives and trading and select others. Now, BlockFi is committed to transparency in its communication and to the protection of its clients, its management, and has been working hand in hand with investors and clients to bring this issue to swift resolution and to restore liquidity to the platform. Now, the firm has also been in active dialogue with our clients throughout this process, including information sessions and an opportunity to ask questions of senior management. Now, BlockFi is working tirelessly to bring this matter to a conclusion and will continue to regularly update our clients as developments warrant. Now, derivative products available to qualified counterparties only for U.S. people and other stuff out there. Yeah. So that was the full tweet on that one. Let's go back to the article. And so here we go. So some accounts are restricted differently. He says, a few can still execute spot trades while transfers are blocked. The action was taken after a rapid and deep fall in Bitcoin's price that triggered a wave of liquidations across exchanges and lending desks. And this is what happened. Like, if you take leverage on your Bitcoin, if you want to borrow against it, you got to take on the risk and just the implementations that come with it. So it's like, if you took out a loan like during the high prices and we're experiencing these dips, you're either gonna get margin call or liquidate, where you got to add more to it to keep that loan going, and in hopes the price goes up and then you can use that against it. But if you don't do that margin with it, and all that Bitcoin will get liquidated. So this is kind of what's happening right now because of the sharp turn. Some people may have been too leveraged out there, and so that's kind of it sucks. But again, some people, like, it's a strategy out there that if you do it, you got to be really ready for it and understand what you're getting into and the risks that come with it. So, and you got to be committed too. Like, once you do it, it's there. So there's no second guessing later on down the road. It's like, well, I did it. So really understand your risk tolerance level and if borrowing against your Bitcoin is actually worth it to you. Because again, like, there's specific times for it. Like right now, until we hit that bottom, like that true bottom, like that's usually like the best time to do it, not when we're in euphoria phases. Like, let's see, where's that chart I was having, the rainbow chart? Let's see. So like euphoria moments, like we still didn't think it was euphoria. So people who took positions here, it was still like high 126. But like during like these times, you don't want to take out that loan. You always want to go at the bottom, which we kind of are right now in all these. Like that's like how you can play it out. But that's still super risky because we don't know what the future holds. We don't know where Bitcoin's price can swing to. All we can really pay attention to is what the charts are telling us and what the news is showing us and how much we're being adopted out there. So so just how to make you guys aware of this going on right now, let you know what happens. Continuing on with this, hopefully no more other lending companies go under. If so, then expect the price to dip even more. But then, fingers crossed, that's the bottom, and we move up from there. So that is our block fills news. And then last thing in the news, I have FedEx enters the Hedera Network Council with eye on supply chain transformation. So this is bullish news. This is great. FedEx wants to put their supply chain on chain. Tongue twister right there, because we've seen it work already with like Walmart before with their mangoes and spinach supply chain or transactions, or how do they say that? I forgot. But they use chain technology to track their supply, like through the process of plucking it, going to the farm, processing to their store. It saves so much on food waste and also transportation fees. So FedEx can get in on this on-chain supply chain transformation. This is kind of bullish, and it looks like they're choosing Hedera for it. So, or they're not choosing it, but they're on the board with a couple other guys. So FedEx joins the firms like Google, IBM, and Dell on the Hedera Council, running a network node and contributing to governance. So it seems like they will use it because they're running a network node, but who knows? They could be running network nodes on many different chains out there, because Google, I know, is on Theta, some other blockchains out there too. So, but this is FedEx joining this one. But let's go through this article to hear more. So, shipping giant FedEx Corporation announced Friday that it has joined Hedera Council, working alongside other companies and builders to govern the Hedera distributed ledger network. According to the company, the move supports FedEx's vision of enabling global commerce to operate at a digital speed rather than relying on traditional paper-based processes. Supply chain optimization has long been a key narrative around the promise of distributed ledger technology, including blockchain networks. Now, the digital transformation of global supply chains is inevitable, said Vishal Tawar, Executive VP and Chief Digital and Information Officer of FedEx Corp. And President of FedEx Data Works in a statement. Now, as supply chains become increasingly digital native, trusted data must be shared and verified across many parties without increasing risk or centralization control. Now, Hedera provides a neutral enterprise-grade trust layer that enables verification at a global scale. He added that while allowing organizations like FedEx to continue building differentiated capabilities on top. Now, though its council participation, FedEx will contribute its expertise towards building open, cooperative digital infrastructure for global supply chains. Now, as a council member, FedEx will run a network node and participate in the governance decisions alongside other members. Now, FedEx brings deep operational insight into the global logistics and commerce, and their perspective will be valuable as the industry transitions towards digitally native supply chains, said Hedera Council President Tom Sylvester. In a release, he said that we look forward to working together to advance trusted, interoperable data verification that supports collaboration across industries and jurisdictions. Now, the Hedera Council has attracted a number of prominent corporate members, including Google, IBM, Dell Technologies, LG, Deutsche Telekom, and game publisher Ubisoft. Now, Hedera's HBAR token is down about 1% on the day to a recent price of 0.094, so 9.5 cents, but up 7% over the week. Now, the core remains 83% of its all-time high, yeah, because everything's down still right now since its previous highs. But hey, we had a nice little 7% bump in this past week, but yeah, so pretty cool. I like seeing some updates in some other chains out there, and especially when you get businesses out there like going into the blockchain space, slowly adopting it, working with it to help it evolve even more. I love it. So that is it for the news today. So yeah, I hope everyone has an awesome, happy Friday the 13th again. Let's see. It is kind of fearful out there because we're still below 10. We are still at an extreme fear of 8. And again, this is always fun to look at because again, you can see it's like when people are fearful, it's a good time to buy. But when we are greedy, market could be due for a correction, as you can see these charts. But yeah, so Bitcoin is currently sitting at $68,900. Ethereum's at $2,000. XRP $1.41, and where's Solana at? $84. Man, if that goes down to 30, I am definitely feeling the bags on that one because I do think Solana is a solid project now. I did it in the past. If you watch my previous videos, when I would start doing my news channel show, just because I was untrusted of it. There was a time in 2021 or 2022 that their blockchain was not working for at least 10 to 11 times that year. So if you needed to do something like on that chain or with your Solana token, it wouldn't work. So I was really skeptical about them. I didn't like it because of that. But after this past year or 2 years, it's like it became so favorable with the younger generation. We got like the Dexter, the pumped off fun. So all the meme coins that came out with it. So Solana, yeah, if it reaches low, I think it will come back because people do seem to favor it for its cheap transactions. But that's it for the news, guys. I hope everyone has, again, an awesome Friday, a great weekend, and I will be back Monday with some more crypto news. So everyone take care, and I'll see you then. Peace. Oh, over there.